Welcome to Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel, where we share stories of hope, inspiration, and motivation to support other sisters who may still be on their breast cancer journey and to lend hope, inspiration, and determination for sisters who may have completed treatment, but they feel a little stuck and unsure about what next steps are for them, right? And so it is my sincere desire that these stories spark a sense of purpose in us and let us know what our next steps are, the divine download from what I call Gus, God, the universe, the source, and the spirit, right? So I am your host, D. Manuel Cloud. I am a two-time breast cancer survivor, now 16 years in remission. And today we have the lovely Stephanie with us. Stephanie, your last name is Owens, correct?
That's correct.
That we have the lovely Stephanie Owens with us here, and she's going to share her powerful journey of breast cancer. And again, the prayer is that it blesses somebody listening to this recording and gives you hope, inspiration, and determination to know that breast cancer may be a chapter in your story, but it's not the whole book. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Glad to be here. So glad to be honored to be here today.
So, tell us, I like to just jump right in. Tell us your age of diagnosis and your type of diagnosis.
Okay, I was 42 when I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor as well. And I'm in the process now of getting through my last treatments and surgery and all of that. I'm in my last stage of that. But I was diagnosed in 2000, the first diagnosed was 2012 at the age of 42. I was diagnosed with ductal carcinoma 6U. I was at zero stage. So at zero stage, I caught it early. Praise God, it was caught early. When they saw when I went to get my mammogram. That's why it's so important to get those mammograms. And at 42, I never thought about having a mammogram because I thought I was too young to have a mammogram. I'm like, you're too young. But anywho, my doctor had started at 40, telling me she wanted me to go ahead and get the mammogram. And I was like, okay, I'll get it done. Another year passed and another year passed. And by the time 2012 came about, something just kept tugging me. I kept watching the TV. I was watching talking about breast cancer. And I'm like, why am I all of a sudden I'm looking at breast cancer videos and cameras? I mean, looking at TV shows, and every time I turn on the commercial coming on, I said, well, Lord, you trying to tell me something? So I decided to go ahead and get that mammogram. And I want to get that mammogram done. And they did. They saw calcium deposits. But they said sometimes that's normal. It may not be anything. But in my case, it did come back. It came back positive for cancer. And at that moment, I felt that my world, to hear cancer, it's like, wow. It's like your world just turned upside down. And you think of not surviving this thing. You don't know what's gonna happen to you or whatever. But you know what? After a day or two, I decided, you know what, Stephanie, it's okay. Because you know what? God has you and He had me. And I had to take it a positive way. And I had to not think about the negative, but think about the positive in it. So when I did that, guess what? It was I'm not gonna say an easy flow, but it was a flow that I could get through it. And I had this thing and I was excited about it. But prior to that, in 2000 and 2022, I had been a breast cancer survivor for 10 years. And I was finally asked to come and do a women's retreat about my first my first cancer diagnosis. And a friend of mine came and asked me, hey, would you like to do this? I said, sure, I've been waiting on 10 years to share my story. But I got to share my story with those ladies. And sharing my story with those ladies, ex- telling them how God got me through that thing and how that I didn't let it get to me. I just took it and I rolled with it. and I stayed positive about it. And I had the support of my family and just praying, just knowing that God had me, not knowing that the next week when I'm going to get my mammogram after 10-year anniversary of being breast cancer free, not knowing the next week I would be diagnosed again. And that what gave me when I went and got that my mammogram done. And when they told me they had me to come in, and I asked the lady, I said, "Hi, can I 10-year anniversary of being breast cancer free come in and record this?" She said, "Sure." So that was my time to I never, ever recorded me going to my mammogram, but this time I wanted to do the mammogram and I want to record it. She told me I could. So I started the recording and then I had the mammogram done. And I went and sat in the waiting room. And I'm just waiting because I know everything is good and everything. I'm just waiting. And then they called me back. They said, "Miss Oh, we need to come back. We need you to come back. We need to do another mammogram because we see some deposits." I'm like, "Deposits?" I'm like, "Wow. Okay, I didn't think nothing of it." I'm like, "Everything is going to be okay." So I went to did the second mammogram and I went back out in the waiting room and I decided to get back on my when I was starting my journaling and doing the video. I decided to go back on there and start talking. I'm just waiting. The third time came about. They wanted to come back. They wanted to do an ultrasound. I said at that time I decided to get off the video and I'm like, okay, something is going on here.
Mhm.
So I turned my video off and I went in and they told me that they seen some things and that they wanted me to go see an oncologist. And from that point on, that's when my journey started. My journey started with my second time of dealing with breast cancer.
Mm, okay, and what did they diagnose you with your second round? They're just calling it a recurrence, or
Okay, this one here, now it's the same breast. And it came back to reoccurrence in the same breast, but this time it was different. It was invasive carcinoma. I was stage 2. I had a tumor. And that's what when you do these mammograms, it's important because within 6 months, now within a year, I already had a mammogram, and then come out around another year, and then another year, it's a tumor there. See how
Mhm.
quickly things can happen. So that's why it's really important to get these done, to get it done. But yes, when I got it this time, I did have a tumor, and it wasn't invasive. So therefore, me and my doctor we proceeded to decided to have a mastectomy done because the area where it was at, and we talked about it and we decided to do that. And I was like, I'm okay with it, because this is my life. I'm okay with it. So we proceeded to do the procedure of having the mastectomy done. And while that was in 2023 last year, actually it was February the 1st when I had my surgery and I had the
Mhm.
mastectomy done. And I also, because I want to do reconstructive surgery. So while I was having that surgery, I also had a expander put in my chest to get me started for the reconstructive part of my surgery. Hmm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Something that you said is you highlighted the importance of mammograms, right? And I thank you for doing that because early detection is key, right? And one of the things that I think that it's important for us to recognize as Black women is that we are less likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer, but we are more likely to die because of late diagnosis. And there's a whole bunch of things that I believe go into the late diagnosis, the lack of
Hmm.
resources,
Hmm.
especially for impoverished ladies, right?
Yes,
We
yes,
don't have access to the resources as some of our non-Black counterparts have access to. So thank you for highlighting that.
that's
You
correct.
also said that keeping a positive outlook got you through your first diagnosis, and I'm assuming your second diagnosis as well. So thank you for highlighting that as well, because I truly believe that how we handle this mentally and emotionally plays a huge part in our success and our survival rate.
Mhm.
So thank you
Yes,
for highlighting that. So
yes.
tell me, I know you said that this time you guys did a mastectomy. You did a tissue expander. Did you do a unilateral mastectomy or a bilateral? Did you do both breasts or just one?
Just one breast because my left breast is a healthy breast, It was just always as the second time it was the right breast. Also, after having mastectomy done, and after getting diagnosed with, they had to do a pathology report, and doing the pathology report, it was for me. I had to go ahead and do chemo. So I did 4 rounds of chemo, and after the 4 round of chemo, because of the type of cells and the cancer cells that they saw, my oncologist wanted me to go ahead and do a 25 rand 25 treatments of what is it? I'm so sorry, radiation treatment. So I had to do 25 treatments of radiation treatment.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
Yes. But hey, after all of that, everything is well. So like I said, the outcome of it, when you're going through it, it's not so, but you know what, you can get through it. But me on my side, I can't say this is what I feel. And I'm not the only one who said this, so I know it's like it's kind of weird, but I was, can I say, honored because I did this twice, and I knew that God had me, and because the spirit that I carried, and I knew it was going to be all right. When I'd go into my radiation treatment, I would go in there, and I'll always go in there with prayer. And a lot of time, a lot of women didn't ask for prayer because sometimes they just sit back and they were scared. They wanted to ask questions, but sometimes we get quiet and we just sit there. But once someone started talking to you, then they get them relaxed. They okay. So when I go in there, I used to pray. I used to pray every time I went in there for most God had put in my spirit to go in there to pray. But I went in prayer. When I went in, I always pray, but I always prayed silently. And then a couple of days later, another lady came in there and she was saying, "Lord," she said, I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt you ladies and I have to do this and I have to be obedient. The Lord put in my spirit to come in and pray with you women and us, to get through this thing. And He wanted me to do this. And I looked at her when she said that because I already knew He had already put in my spirit for me to do it. But I was doing it silently. That's not what He wanted. So guess what? He found somebody else to do it. But I was like, Lord, I was like, I'm so sorry. But from that day and that point on, I decided when I go in there, I'm ready. When they see me, they know Miss Owens is ready to do a prayer, and we're gonna talk this thing out. I didn't have no hair. I lost my hair through radiation treatment, but guess what? I rocked a bald head. That hair was not me. It's the inner you who is you. So I was going in the women, they was had their hair covered. I'm like, look, y'all are beautiful inside and out. If you don't want to wear this, cover your head. Don't cover your hair. Don't cover your head because you're beautiful. And I mean, every day I was going there and I'm like, Miss, oh, you're so pretty. You know what? Thank you, and you are too. And then my hair started growing back in between the time of the radiation, and once my hair started growing back, it started around the edges, around the side and the back. So my top was like kind of the last little hair to start growing back. And I started looking like a little man. I just tell I said, y'all, I said, I don't know. Do I need to? I said, you know what? I'm not going to cover my head because I told you all, love yourself for who you are. So guess little old me, we went on with the little hair around the side and the little hair, it was still balled up there. But you know what? I kept my earrings on, I kept my makeup on, and we just kept it moving. And just being there, be able to support other women and to talk to them because they're afraid. They don't want to say anything. So it's okay to talk. It's okay to tell them. It's okay to talk to them about. Because sometimes we'll be in the waiting room just waiting, and we'll be showing our war wounds, and we'll be showing this is what I have. I don't have a nipple. Well, this is what it did to me. This is what it did to my neck. And we talked to each other about what was going on. And actually, if you can see, you may not can see, my neck is still dark because I have a port in my chest, and I have a port also an expander as well. But I'm still healing from there. I'm healed, but my color hadn't came back
Mhm.
but it's coming there. It's coming there. So that's just like I look at it as a war wound. Hey, I survived this thing and you can survive it as well. So therefore,
Amen.
going through this here, it wasn't challenging because I just trusted God. And I had a friend to come to me and she said, Stephanie, She said the word, the healing word. She said the thing is, you can say it all day long, you can hear it, but you got to hear it with your heart. And when she said you have to hear it with your heart, I understood what she was saying because you got to believe it. Believe that he is going to, that you already know he's going, because that's what Jesus did. He went on the cross, he went on that cross for us. He went for our sickness, knowledge, disease, and everything that we've gone through in this world. That's why he went on the cross for us. He did that for us. He said, by every stripe, we were healed. So guess what? Even though I was diagnosed with it, I was already healed. You couldn't tell me no different. So I was already healed. Spiritual side of me, like, Stephanie, come on and talk to the physical Stephanie. Girl, you got this. It's already done. I just need you to go through the physical part, go through the chemo, go through the radiation, go through losing your hair. But guess what? You are already healed.
I love
So
it.
that being said, and even today when I see women and I encourage them, hey, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna
Absolutely.
be all right. No
Absolutely.
matter what, you're gonna be all right. You'll be
I
all right.
love that. I love that you shared that your faith got you through, trusting and believing in God, that you were already healed, made this battle, this journey, I don't like to call it a battle, this journey easier for you,
Yes.
knowing that God was carrying you. Right. I talked with another young lady today about the very thing, just having faith and knowing that God is covering you and knowing, and she and I were talking and just sharing that you have to believe in something bigger than yourself. Right. And so for me, I'm all inclusive. So I always call God, Gus, God, the universe, the source, the spirit, right? Whatever
Mhm.
you believe in, just know that when you are diagnosed with something as traumatic as breast cancer, it's important to call on, I believe, to call on a higher power and ask God, okay, where do you want me? Where do you need me to be? Why is this happening for me? What is it
Right.
you want me to do with this? Right?
Right.
Because I believe
Right.
that everything is happening for our highest good. So
Right.
tell me, Stephanie, what lessons, if any, did you learn on your breast cancer journey?
To to live, to live, because life is short. Go out and just live. Enjoy life. Because there's life out there beyond breast cancer. You know, just take chances. Do what you always wanted to do. And going through breast cancer and going through it twice, it make you think about some things. It make you realize, hey, life is short. Let me go out there and be the best me I can be. Let me go out there and do what I can do because guess what? This is life. And I've gotten it a second time, a second chance. Go out there and enjoy life. Don't let nothing stop you. Go out there and enjoy life. You got family, friends, loved ones, and even encourage other women that's going through what they're going through. And that's the whole thing about breast cancer, being able to encourage other women. And that's my whole thing when I started thinking about the journaling and the videoing things and all that. It was not for me, but it was for other people.
I
So
love
just knowing that you're not alone by yourself, and when you in your treatments, um, just talk. It's okay to ask questions. Somebody's there to answer questions for you, believe it or not, because what you're going through, God already planned it out for you. He already planned it out for you how it's going to go, and it's okay to be afraid, but don't stay there too long. I want you to know that it's going to be all right, no matter what the diagnosis is. Trust God, because He's bigger than all of this. He's bigger than all of this.
I
So
love
just stay encouraged no matter what it is. And if you got family, friends, and loved ones, stay in tune with them. Do not separate yourself from family. Do not separate yourself from friends. I don't care if you're having a bad day. It's okay to take some time out to yourself, but don't stay there. Do not
don't
stay there.
isolate. Yeah, I love that. Don't isolate. I say
Uh-uh.
isolation is a trap. I say that all the time, that we are meant to be in connection with other individuals. And if COVID has taught us nothing else, is that we need each other, right? And that isolation is detrimental to our mental and emotional well-being.
Right, right.
Love what you shared about living fully, taking chances, do those things that you've always wanted to do, show up as the best version of yourself.
Yes,
All of that
that's
was
right.
so powerful. Thank you, Stephanie, for
Yeah.
sharing that. I believe that that's a great lesson to live fully. If breast cancer has not taught us anything, and especially for you and I, having gone through this experience twice, it has taught me for sure that life is short and that there is not only can there be life after breast cancer, but there can be life abundantly, right? That you don't have to settle, you don't have to play small, but to show up in the fullness of who God made you to be. I love
Yes,
that. Thank you for
yes,
sharing that.
yes.
So tell me, Stephanie, what it means for you to thrive and how that's showing up in your life.
Thriving for me because of, like I was telling you from the beginning, I started doing it. It was in me, it was in my spirit for me to start doing videos, start, writing down my doctor's appointments and videoing, going to all my appointments and every appointment that I went through, every through the surgery, through the treatments, everything that I did while going through my journey, I videoed it, took pictures, and I set up myself to say I was going to share this. God had put it in my spirit to share. So I started doing that. And I got part one, part two, and then part three. I'm in the latter part now. And the part three for me is now that I'm having my reconstructive surgery. And it's coming soon, April. I'll be having the reconstructive surgery. And I'm excited about this. And then it's telling me, Stephanie, girl, it was a long journey, but guess what? It was exciting. And everything I went through, I didn't just go through it for myself, I went through it with somebody else. Now I get to share. I got videos to share, showing you the wounds, how it looked when the first surgery, how it wasn't a pretty sight, but hey, I was healed, and I healed from that, and everything is looking good. And I just wanted to share that intimate part of me because people want to know. I want to know what the scar looked like. What did it look like when they cut? What did it look like when you had the bulb and you had to take out the, take the bulb out and drain the drainage? What did that look like? Who helped you do this? How did you get through this? How did you, with the pain, and did you use a pillow? What did you do to get through what you was going through? So all of that, I recorded that daily, pretty much daily, my everyday thing that I was going through with breast cancer. And when I was doing it, like I said, it wasn't not for me. It was just for me to be able to share my journey, not be able to tell, be able to let people see, to let them in my world. And another thing, getting ready for this second surgery, when I had my mastectomy, they took my nipple. So I don't have a nipple. I have an expander. An expander was like a little flat, it's like a little flat, what is it? I guess if you said like an implant with nothing in it, that's kind of what it looked like, a flat implant with nothing in it. So what they did, they placed it in my chest, and what it did, it was stretch my skin to get my skin prepared for the reconstructive part of it. That part wasn't so fun. I'm gonna be honest with you, that was not the fun part of it. But hey, I made it through. And then probably a couple of weeks after that, they started putting saline into the port to start to start forming the breast so it can start
Mm-hmm.
stretching,
Expanding the, mm-hmm.
expanding my chest, right, to it start expanding. So therefore, when I got to my desired size, we stopped. So now I'm at my desired size, and I had to wait 6 months after radiation because after radiation you cannot do the surgery until after 6 months. So my 6 months is actually up this month in March. So this month, 6 months radiation treatment is up. So I'm ready to do this surgery. Um, so right now, my thing was I realized it's so in this time and day, it's so many younger women is coming up with breast cancer. It used to be when people in their 50s and 60s. It's not like that these days. I know a young lady 20s. I've seen people in their 30s. This is an early, I mean, it's young generation that's coming up with it. So I had told myself, I was on one of my videos, and I told myself, hey, Stephanie, you know, I was fine with not having a nipple. I mean, I'm okay with it. Uh, but I decided to take one for the team. I decided to take one for somebody, maybe younger, the younger person may want to get if they have their nipple removed, they may want to get another nipple, but they don't know what it looked like, don't know how it's done, don't know the procedure of it. So guess what? I decided that I'm going to take one for this team. So once I do my reconstructive part of it, I think I have to wait a couple more weeks. And I had already asked my doctor, could he go ahead and make me a nipple?
Mhm.
And like I said, I'm gonna do that for the team because I'm okay without it. But then again, it's good to know. So since I'm doing this, showing all of it, why not do it? So this gonna help somebody else. Let them know, hey, you can get the reconstructive surgery if you so desire to have it. You can have it done. And now things are so different now. And you can get another nipple. So how about that?
I love
So
it.
how
So what
about
I just
that?
heard you say is that what it means to you to thrive is to be of support to other sisters who are on this journey, to share your story, to share your experience, to share everything that you went through so that it can be a survival guide to anyone else who is watching your story and watching your videos. So how can we watch your videos?
Okay, right now, like I said, I've been praying about it. And I've been keeping all the videos. And right now, after I get through doing my surgery, um, I will be in the process of trying to get things edited and where I'm going to put it at and what where well on YouTube, Instagram. Right now, I'm just in the place of right now trying to debate where am I going to go with this, where I can reach the most people. So I want to be able to reach a lot of people. So right now it's up in the air, but to reach me right now, be coming soon. You'll be seeing me on YouTube and hopefully on other things. So you'll be seeing me. Trust me, you'll be seeing me because I'm on this with D today. So you'll be like, I remember that lady. Yes, I'm that lady. I'm Stephanie Owens. And
I
I will
love
be having
it.
my picture out there. And you
He
all
said,
will be able
I'm that
to see
lady.
it.
I'm Stephanie Owens. I love it.
Yes. And I'm that lady. And I will be having that out there. It'll be coming soon. But like I said, this is not me. This is all I'm allowing God to do this. I'm allowing him to use me because if he do it, I know it's going to be in the right direction. And I want
Absolutely.
him to be able to use me to reach many people as possible. And then we have men out there as well that been diagnosed with breast cancer. But I just want to spread it out there, and especially among us, when I say African American women, because I've learned going through 2 times how we're so quiet about it. We don't want to talk about it. We're secretive about it. It's time to stop being secretive about it. It's
Absolutely.
time to start speaking up and speaking out. Not just for you, but you got daughters, you may have daughters, you may have nieces, aunties, grandmothers, and mothers. It don't stop at nobody. So we got to learn to stop being secretive about it and just talk and tell.
Absolutely.
Hell, it's okay.
Absolutely.
You don't have
And
to keep
not
it a
and not
secret.
to be not to be embarrassed by it, right? Not
Not
to
to be embarrassed
be
about.
a lot of people hide out of fear, right? You hear people say that I don't want everybody to know what's going on with me because everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart. But when you know God does, nobody
God,
else can touch you.
that's right. And that's
So
right.
how? Because again, our stories, I believe, are meant to be someone else's survival guide. I truly believe
And that is so. That
that.
is so. Yes, it is.
So, Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your story with us. Do you have anything else you want to share with the people?
I just want people to understand the ladies, um, breast friend, breasties, anybody, put God first. God is bigger than any diagnosis. He's bigger than the doctors. He have all the answers. He uses those doctors and he used that medication to heal us. Whether he heal you miraculously or whether he heal you through medicine, he got you. But you just got to trust him. And it's all about him. That's why I decided to talk when I say I'm not looking at myself, I'm looking at who he is. He is a healer. Everything is done in his will. Everything is done in his will. But if you believe it, you will receive it. I believed I was healed. You could not change my thoughts. You could not shake me because I knew. Because not only did it one time, he did it two times. And I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed to be here, standing here today, to be able to tell you all this. So guess what, ladies? You can do it. It's done. You can do it. And
I
just
love that.
remember, have your family, friends, and loved ones. You don't do it by yourself. Don't do it by yourself.
No lone wolfing. I love that. And I want to really, really drive in that point that you don't have to do this by yourself, right? That as Black women, women in general, but especially for Black women, we're taught to be strong, independent women, and that asking for help is weak. And I want to debunk that, especially when we're dealing with something as traumatic as breast cancer. I was one of those people. I thought I could handle this all on my own. I would drive myself to and from my chemo appointments by myself. I wouldn't allow people to be there for me because I wanted to present myself as strong and capable. But what I didn't realize is that I was denying other people the blessing of being there for me. I was denying other people and blocking their blessings by letting them care for me and help me. I didn't realize that at the time. It was a hindsight is 2020 type of situation for me, right? But I
Mhm.
want to just really drive home the point to anybody watching this segment of Thriving on Purpose. Allow people to be there for you. It gives them a sense of purpose, and it allows them to be blessed and show up as a caregiver because our caregivers are going through this with us. I heard someone call them our co-survivors, and I love that term. Our co-survivors are going through this thing with us, and they need to feel like they're supporting us. They need that. And
That's
so
right.
let's not deny them that opportunity.
That's right. That is so right. And on the piggyback on that, that is so co-survivors because they're there for you. Because when I had my surgery, my husband, he had to clean, he had to take my bandages off, he had to do the bulbs and all of that. I could not do it. And then when he did it effortlessly, he did it effortlessly. And like I said, you have to be strong and knowing that it's okay. 'Cause this is just temporary, just
Absolutely.
temporary. And allow who wants to help, allow them to help because that's their blessing. I had it's amazing how God do things. He had people that you would think that you're going to be using to go with you through your treatments or through your treatments or whatever your surgery. Sometimes he lined up a whole different line of people. You'd be like, where did that come from? This person here, really? But that's who he is. You never know what God has under his sleeve. I have daughters and I have a husband. I have siblings, but he chose a couple of different people to come into my life at that time to help me get through this. And I got one lady who told me about when I was telling you about. She said, she called Miss Stephanie, you have to hear the word in your heart. And when she told me that, it changed my whole dynamic of everything that I was going through. And we were strangers. And today, she's still with me. She's still hanging in there with me. We talk daily, we pray daily, and I just thank God for her because people come in your life for a reason, season, sometime, a lifetime. And I'm praying she's my lifetime because I
Oh,
love
I love that. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
yes.
Well,
Hmm.
thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Thriving on Purpose, the YouTube channel. Thank you, Miss Stephanie, for sharing your story of strength, determination, and resilience, and faith and grace, right? If you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more inspirational stories like Stephanie's, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so that you can know when these episodes air weekly. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. We love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And remember, we're thriving on purpose. Bye for now. For more inspirational stories like these, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to turn on your notifications. Thank you for rocking with us. And remember, we're thriving on purpose.